starts to the left. The start should be important with so many inexperienced players. King, Salmon was clever there, stayed down. Milburn, half a kick. Woods, he stood his ground. He decided to take a couple of tackles. Kilpatrick dropped it. It came out the back. Chickwell was so important last week. Bowyer, who was their go-to player early, confident. He's still confident and then whips it out and changes direction. Woods slipped. He had the ball for a fair while. Snell fancies he'll get a free kick, and he does.
Just a touch of nerve. That's all it takes. Snell goes up to half forward. Can he make them pay? Beautiful tackling. Could that be gone too? That was Clint Bizzle. A superb tackle. And the Cats appearing very, very focused.
Milburn's pushed down.
Bizzle into half forward. He's got someone at the back. That was too easy. And the mark is taken by Darren Milburn. 45 out on an angle that shouldn't prove too severe for him.
Stood there a while there too, Sandy.
Yep. Playing in just his third final. He's kicked a dozen goals for the season. He's trying to give the Cats a dream start, but it's not to be.
There's Barry Stoneham, who's only played 3 of the last 11 matches and 1 of the last 7.
And with him, Bruce, is Spriggs, Chapman and Wojcinski.
Thanks, Dipper. Crowd is starting to fill up. There are a lot of empty seats still. Short to Salmon, cut off by Riccardi. It's a shaky start for the Hawks.
Didn't have much on offer, did they? They were out pretty wide or bottled up over the other side, so tried to bite off a bit too much more than he could chew with the kick to Salmon, but well done by Riccardi. Picked it off early.
He missed 4 matches. He's gone back a long way here, Dermot. Have a look.
He's got the Michael Holding run-up.
Missed 4 matches before coming back last week. He's one of those really experienced Geelong players like Hocking and Stoneham in finals. Gets to 49. He's kicked it pretty well. He's kicked the first goal of the match.
Kicked it pretty well there, hasn't he? There's Jade Rawlings. I tell you what, he's probably between the devil and the deep blue sea there. If he had a spoilt Paul Salmon, I think they would have just run it closer to goal and had a shot from easier terms. He's done well there, picked it off. Good zone employed by the Cats too.
Interesting that Daniel Harford, one of their key midfielders, has started very deep in the forward line. Daniel Chick also has started outside of the square.
King and Salmon again. Salmon tries to get a run at it. Rock working hard in the middle. King goes again with a mighty belt. Takes it out wide. Steinford, if it sits, could be in business for the Cats. Carl, you're in trouble. Loses it back towards King in the centre. The big man flicks it out very, very quickly towards Kilpatrick. Now he's got Hocking. Butter goes inside 50, in towards David Mench. But strong work by Crode, and he takes the mark. The Hawks defend. They come wide to Salmon from the back pocket. He's got players streaming downfield. Could go short towards Rock, and he finds him almost down to centre wing. Taken over the line, so there'll be a throw-in. Rock well claimed by David Clark.
Tried to sneak a few metres there, Rocky. Played on, but tried to sneak it, and the umpire called it correctly.
So King and Salmon to do battle again. The Cats getting the early break, courtesy of Riccardi. King to Hocking is good football. Another one away towards Houlihan. In towards the 50. Belted back towards the centre. If it sits for Crawford, here come the Hawks. But it won't, and he's caught. A fine tackle in the middle. And umpire Mark McKenzie decides that he will take charge.
Scholl putting the tackle on.
Geelong have been dominant at these loose ball situations right throughout the season. It's an area that Hawthorn are going to have to match them in tonight.
Harford, Crawford quickly onto the boot. Fortunately, Bowyer in the right place, outside his range. He's got 3 or 4 going now. Kicks very wide. He's got the length on it. Rawlings. There's a good effort at the back to get back there by Harley, and then Milburn off the ground. Only as far as Rock, then slaps it back. Milburn wobbles one, wants the line. I think he's going to get it.
been an incredible amount of players slipping over, particularly Hawthorn players early in the match. Had to walk across the ground, and it's basically in perfect condition. And I just wonder, we'll get Tipper to find out how many of the players are wearing the soft moulded soles.
Throw in on the outer side to Milburn, coming from Steinfort up towards Burns. Can't get a look in on the game at the moment, but it's early days. Good work by Mensch, solid bump, but it's going to go the way of the Hawks. There was a push at the bottom of the pack.
Winning every stoppage at the moment, the Cats. Every time the ball goes into neutral zone, a pack, they win it.
Young towards Rock. Two experienced finals campaigners, not with the Hawthorn Footy Club though. Plays on quickly towards Graham. Gives it away now. They've got a chance to go up towards the 50. The kick was good from Luke McCabe. Crawford goes short once again. They're inside 50. And now they've got a chance with Dixon to have a shot. 45-degree angle and just inside 50.
Dermot, the matchup, Crawford with Glenn Kilpatrick. Kilpatrick doesn't look to have the leg speed to go with him.
No, exactly right. And I think they were going to try and push Crawford forward as much as possible. Harford starts in the forward line from what we've seen so far. And I think they'd prefer him in the midfield to Crawford at this point in time. So that, whether Kilpatrick goes deep with him.
Ben Dixon has been one of the Hawks' main men in front of goal. He's booted 40 for the season. They need a reply. He starts it slightly to the left. And it's smashed back into play on the last line of defence, and keep it in play as Kilpatrick. Back towards centre half back. Smashed away from Houlihan. Snell comes storming through, and somehow, like Houdini, he gets out of jail. Harford persists, but he gets it away to Steinfort. The Cats now have a chance to go forward through Carl Steinfort.
To centre half forward, and Scholl filled the hole pretty well here, just outside his range. Burns tries to slip McCabe. There's Bizzle and Hay. Scholl, that's a dreadful looking kick. Whose arms were lobbing? It was touched off the boot. Crode had to get a quick handball away. Woods, that was a better touch than the first one. Harford in trouble. The Cats quick to tackle here. Young's third touch. Woods kept his nut over it. That was good footy. And then kicks very, very cleverly to Barker at centre wing. Barker, who's been such an important player in the second half of the season. Left for Adachi. Holland's handball back to Harford. Normally a good kick. Finds his mark. Gets it wide. Graham should kick a goal. 40 metres out. Delivers.
Well, playing deep in defence is Mark Graham, and you saw him run through the screen at the back there when Johnny Barker took the ball, and he was there for an absolute eternity, and only the vision of Daniel Harford saw him going out to that flank there.
Great running by the Hawthorn halfback, and it's a major asset for the Hawks.
Mark Graham replies for his coach. Rookie coaches tonight, and let's spare a moment for them. It's going to be a huge night. Bowyer working hard out of the middle. They've made a positive start, but McGrath chops it off. Big task for him tonight. McGrath from the defensive side of centre. Up towards Bizzle was a big fly. Mensch just waited at the back, and it landed on his chest.
Read that pretty well, hasn't he, in the end? All the traffic was looking at Clint Bizzle come out, and he just sauntered through the back of the pack there. Including our camera work.
Mensch for his 38th goal of the season. Tugged it away to the left.
Wouldn't mind having a bet now, Sandy, that they'll go the very short one after the last shot on goal from Riccardi from a kick out. Yeah, Raiden Tallis might just pull it very short into the pockets here.
Rock one option if he's going to go very short. He sees most bases covered. In the end, opts for Young.
To Woods. They've been careful here, haven't they? But they have got it out, the Hawks. Tallis at half back. And then down the line to Graham. So Graham and Riccardi, the two goal kickers, playing on one another.
Took over 150 marks uncontested last week, Bruce, and you can see why. It's taken them 5 marks to get it to just the defensive side of the wing.
Speaking of marks, this bloke can take one for his size, Bowyer.
Got Barker on the move through it.
Pops it up, wants Barker to take a mark. McGrath with him, comes off Bluey's head, back to Barker. decided not to use Harford in the first place, and Harford's going to get a lucky free kick. I say lucky because Hocking really should have left him alone in the end, because Harford was scum, wasn't he?
Yeah, he coughed it up a bit, but I reckon he recognised who was coming at him.
Forced to go now with that slip towards, and then an untidy kick around the body, not good play. Sanderson waited under it, was touched off the boot, bangs it back. Salmon and Barry Young, a lot of experience there. They get in one another's way, and Clark might make them pay. Pushes to Houlihan, Milburn with him, the 1-2 on, over the top to Houlihan from Milburn. Ken goal, he's 52 out, kicks right to the goals, but misses. So Milburn, Houlihan and Mensch have all missed gettables for the Cats in the first 10 minutes of the match.
3 points the margin.
12 men in Geelong zone. We've got a look at it here. 3 across the front. And they've got 3 outside 50 and the rest just inside. They go short to Croad.
Who's tucked in the back pocket. Trent Croad looks down towards his skipper. Looks shorter to Young, but now decides to go longer. Up towards Barker and McGrath. There could have been some shoving. It mattered not, because Mensch was alone at the back. The Cats doing the bulk of the attacking, but some of the disposal leaving a little bit to be desired. Hay comes dashing out. He goes to ground. Another one who's slipped, but is going to pick up a free kick for a bit of a nudge. He takes it at half back.
Sean Crawford has slipped out the back.
And Croad's away.
Crawford's on his own.
He takes them on, Trent Croad. He's run a long, long way. He's run too far. First bounce was fine. So Kilpatrick will get a free kick just forward of the centre. And the scales at the moment, Dermot, probably just weighing slightly in favour of the Cats as far as a start is concerned.
Winning in the midfield.
That was the key. No shove. Tallis a chance. Gets boot to ball, but will have to go again. He'll just paddle to the line.
At 50, just missed the one game this year, Tallis. He had a lean spell under Ken Judge. He's played the last 22 games, including this straight. So no damage on the scoreboard, but agree with Sandy. The Cats have had the best of it early. Not a bad kick by Kilpatrick to squeeze with nothing there. That's a clever mark by Hay. A real one-on-one situation. He's a hard man to beat. And the Hawks will be relying on him to beat Bizzle in the one-on-ones tonight. Very short again. And then the 1-2 from Croad, which is dangerous. Hay, a bit too cheeky here. Tallis had to look for it for a long time. Back to Croad. It's a free kick, I think, coming back to Tallis now. Just to steady it up for the Hawks.
Just trying to break them open. They're not open. They're not scared to over-possess down there at the moment. And that's suiting Geelong, giving him a target on it.
Hay decides to go for a torpedo. No one ready to kick to, and wanted distance and also the line. Rock there with Scholl, and they both run it over. I think Rock will get a free kick from the back against Scholl.
That was clever. It wasn't really there, was it, Bruce? But he just made sure the umpty saw it. The only thing that could happen was out of bounds or a free to him.
He's lucky. He milked it, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. That's clever.
Well, we talked about finals experience, and he's been in a couple of grand finals, Rock. Oh, straight into Scholl. Takes him on. Scholl with him. No free kick that time to Woods. And then Woods bends it around a bit with a high ball. Can Holland take an effective mark? Oh! The big fly from Barker, has been doing that on the second half of the year. Holland's handball gives it up to Ben Graham. First time we've really seen the Cats, skipper. Ball to be won. Cats will be all right here. Buddha's got it.
Hocking from half back. Can chip in towards the middle. Riccardi was his spotter.
Gone.
Can't get onto the left foot, so he just pokes a little right footer down towards Mensch. Edged out. Who's going to be first to recover? Bizzle and Mensch. No push, says the umpire. Sock it off the ground. That's a goal to Houlihan.
He's it out a bit here. They've had 5 shots to 1.
And you see in the middle, Bruce, that Jason Snell has gone on to Crawford. I think the pace match-up there is far more suited than was Glenn Kilpatrick's.
Salmon prepared to let King go early, isn't he? And then maybe try and feed off him a bit. So the Hawks have had the edge, haven't they, in their last 10 meetings? It's a big advantage. They've won a lot of games at Shell Stadium against the odds in that period. But boy, there's only one that counts really right now, and that's tonight. Good chop off. Rock getting his hands on it early to Bowyer. Bowyer's floater They're going to have to work hard here. The Hawks actually get into the frame. Chick running hard, but Harley just got rid of him cleverly to Graham. Every time he gets it and runs from the back, there's excitement. Shoal probably should have taken it in the end. Maybe disorientated, and McCabe coming in. And this is the one that's, it's a strange one. I'm not sure what this means about all of this, but we were playing a final. It's a bit like that Tony Shaw July or June one, isn't it? you just take your pick if it means anything at all, but it's there for you.
They like August. That's it. Ronnie, first touch, down towards the 50. Taken away from Crow. Mensch tried to soccer clear, couldn't do so. Snell's at the bottom of the pack. Tallis has locked him up. And there will be a bounce on the Cats 50.
And finally, Daniel Harford has come from the forward line. He's into the middle and the action, and he's got Carl Steinford to piggyback round for the next 15 minutes or so.
8 minutes remaining in the quarter. King edges out Salmon, but he can't get a clear belt towards goal. Bowyer hands it over for a throw. Again, the two big men. This time, Salmon from behind pushes towards the line. Houlihan for a moment. Well, he kept it in towards Hocking, and Buddha's forced to crash his way past Barry Young and Luke McCabe.
As Bevan mentioned, Sandy, Crawford now pushing forward, and Big Harley's following down there. Bit of a mismatch there, but bit of pace versus height.
Looks like he's swapping with Daniel Chick onto the ball.
Hawthorn already dominating in the marking division, 19-8. Here's Kilpatrick, a chance over the top of the left foot of Riccardi. Somehow he gets clear. Centering kick, that's a beautiful kick into half forward, and Bizzle takes the mark on his chest.
That's a disciplined kick, isn't it? Right to the spine of the ground.
I'm not sure what it is, Dermot, but left footers just seem to have that incredible ability to get out of space or get out of the traffic. And there it was again. Riccardi should have been tackled by 3 players. And yet he sets up a pretty easy shot at goal.
32 goals, 20 for the home and away season. Clint Bizzle, 47 metres out, directly in front, straight through the middle. Cats sneak clear. The Costas are pretty happy.
Yes, Frank Costa there on screen. You don't get it much straighter than that, but he actually took off, I reckon, before Peter Riccardi placed that ball. He knew he was going to run straight up the middle of the ground, and that's a great understanding between one of your midfielders and the full forward from the goal square. He's already taken off now. See, he's on the motion out there. Good understanding between kicker and receiver.
Trent Crowe just a little bit lucky that that fist didn't connect.
You haven't spoken to him this week, have you, Dermot?
Okay, no.
Frank Costa is, I think 7 of his 8 daughters are here tonight. Frank, the president of Geelong. Hawks look nervous early, don't they?
They do, yep.
There's no question, and the Cats now are making them pay on the scoreboard. Next few minutes are pretty important for Hawthorn. They can't let it get much further than this. Houlihan's little handball didn't go far. Harford trying to get a free kick, then lucky not to give one away on Steinford, and Bowyer belts it up. Crawford used his body cleverly, then pops a high one and doesn't get it. He gave Harley a bit, getting to get the right spot, and then Harley's giving him a whack across the head and no free kick.
And fair enough, a gobful there from the captain of the Hawks. If that's not a free kick, there won't be any paid.
It's accidental in the motion, though.
Accidents count.
Yeah.
McGrath to Barker. Barker gets it well inside 50. Thompson's first real crack at it. Is it still in?
Out.
It is out. A boundary throw in. They haven't seen a lot of action, have they, the Hawks forward line?
Hasn't gone inside. I tend to think they're a bit unsettled too by starting Daniel Chick in the forward line.
Just 5 times inside their forward 50 this quarter.
Scarlett front spot. Thompson at the back. Rock just gets a kick out. Not very far to the pocket. Dixon ridden into the ground. Hawks will look for a free knot there, right forward pocket.
Young Scarlett's trying to dish it out to Nathan Thompson. There's been Dixon on screen. Thompson just backing away now for the ruck contest.
With Scarlett. Now Barker trying to get a run at it at the back. Graham, and then belts away. Had more time in the end. A race on, Bowyer leading.
And he should be clear. Away from Clark. Ignores his skipper initially. Just edging his way closer to goal. Chick was the target. It was poor disposal. And quite happy to see it over the line will be Kilpatrick.
What about the matchups in the Hawks forward line, Dermot? We're yet to find out, because of so little action, whether or not they'll work. But Scarlett on Thompson?
Yeah, that's a big job for the kid, Scarlett, first final.
Graham and Holland.
That seems pretty standard.
And Barker and McGrath. Barker just may have a little bit too much of a loop for him.
Yeah, just a little bit too much of a get around as well, but Shane Crawford came over the top from an errant clearing kick there. Just had the run up on young Tom Harley there.
Sort of goal you want a captain to kick, don't you? When you're just early days, we could just want the captain to go back and kick this.
Yeah, 2.5 down. He was kicking them before the game from the warm-up set shots.
20 to his name for the season. From 48 metres, a flat-looking helicopter punt won't make the distance, but Johnny Barker's waiting in front, and he does.
Oh. That is a cardinal sin. I reckon the Cats are better than 2 goals, 3 lead that they had 10 seconds ago. I think they've been a lot better team than that, but when your backmen make a mistake like that, it's not a good sign.
Fortunate also for Shane Crawford, because it was the old Woomer banger. It was a mongrel, but it got the result, as they often do, Sandals.
It was spinning like the Bell Huey, wasn't it?
Bomber Thompson and his coaching staff got a great year, along with Peter Schwab. So the Hawks would be pretty happy right now if the siren went only 9 points down. King got a sort of a backhander to Snell, to King, another clearance for him out of the centre. Rawlings and Milburn. Crode was really good. Burns haven't seen much. I mean, Riccardi magnificent. Left foot check side. Absolutely brilliant effort. That would have been some goal.
That was sensational. How did he break those tackles? He's playing against Mark Graham, so yeah, that was fantastic footy. Running front and centre, and you don't get many players split the pack better than that.
Right now, he's the most influential player out there, isn't he?
Yes, he's been very good early on. 4 kicks, a couple of marks. Graham in the back pocket.
And that'll be the only negative to Riccardi's game, and that is Graham has kicked a goal for the Hawks.
Young. Still at full-back.
Glenn Bay is running right across the ground here.
Now that kick is a poor one. It's going to drop short. Milburn wants to play on now. They can set it up. Here comes the big bomb from the big man. Graham's kick in towards full forward. Bizzle was a flyer, but he couldn't take the mark. Here comes Harford out of defence. He does well to Salmon, who marks and steadies it down. Now he goes up towards half forward. McGrath is in front, almost caught one high. A battle of strength with Barker. Scholl is there as well. Houlihan too. Scholl comes inboard. They've got the numbers now. Hocking looks ahead of the centre, up towards the half-forward line. And coming in late, almost taking the mark. It's not going to be paid. Young is going to clear for the Hawks. Now they can set something up. Tallis takes it away from Holland. Raiden Tallis in towards Thompson and co. He can't take the mark. She's warming up now. Graham caught Clark unawares. Could prove costly. Checks inside 50. Check bangs away at goal. But he too is just off target.
So symbolic of Hawthorn this year was Rawlings' effort and athleticism to make the contest against the odds. We've had Hay and Crow doing it all year as well. So the Hawks settling a bit here late in the opening term. Scarlett at halfback, gets to centre wing. Milburn's going to be outnumbered. And again, Rawlings made the contest from nowhere. And Holland roved it. And then kicks to Dixon at 50. Again a contest, ball on the ground. Thompson beaten for it by Sanderson. Gets it to Kilpatrick. He's crunched. He'll get a free, does he? No boundary throw-in.
At the other end of the ground, the Cats have pushed Ronnie Burns to full forward. They've pushed all their taller players up the ground. Ronnie's the only one inside their forward 50, and he's right in the goal square.
Real Russian roulette there with him and McCabe, isn't it? Yep. Graham over the top, takes it from Holland.
Had a good 5 minutes, the captain of the Cats.
Through Milburn's legs and a boundary throw-in. He has Ben Graham. So it's 22-13 here. 7 scoring shots to 3, 9 points the margin.
And a vital 3.5 minutes remaining. Hawthorn clawing their way back in.
Modern day footy, Sandy. We've got a throw in on centre wing, and on the other centre wing we've got the 2 ruckmen.
There's so many you could talk to that about. Belted off the ground, down towards Chick on half forward. Now he's pretty quick. Here he comes from 51 metres. A worm-burning pass to Anthony Rock. It's a gem.
Well, once again, Sandy, in the warm-up before the game, I watched Geelong and I watched Hawthorn. And Anthony Rock wasn't making many from about 2 or 3 metres further out than this. So this is a nervous wait for the Hawks.
This will complete a very good couple of minutes, though, for them, won't it? If he can kick their third, it's a mongrel punt, but that doesn't matter. It's effective. By hat, that was ugly, Dermot. But it doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, no, that had a lot of Steve Kernahan on it, that one.
I tell you what, we've just taken a phone call from Queensland. Malcolm Blight has rung down and said, this could well be a bodgy football. Because the Hawks in particular, they are the masters of the Woomerbanger at the moment. They cannot square it up.
Footy.
It is.
Keep him on the line. If he's got anything else to tell us, Blighty, let us know. Funny old footy. 3-4 to 3-1. Harford was good. Kick off the side a bit. Well, maybe wasn't off the side. Was he that good?
He actually can kick them off the side. I've watched him practice that at training, just on the death. He will just push it with the outside of his foot. I don't know if you can credit him with that one. It might require the different angle here. Have a look at this clearance here.
Salmon good, wasn't he?
Okay, this will tell you. Yeah, he meant that.
That's good. That is really good.
You see the way the leg pushed out to the right then?
And this is a dangerous matchup for the Cats. Barker just looks as if he's got too much athleticism for Bluey McGrath.
Let's see if he brings it left to right like he normally does. It's coming back. He's done it again. We saw him last week in the opening quarter. You put us onto a Dermot, the old left to right, swing it back. It's like he reads a putting green, isn't it? He just did it perfectly.
He will just about line up as you look from the centre down to the forward line. He will line up to that right-hand flank every time. That's the side of the ground he'll play, because as a right footer he can open it out. You watch it swing back in on the death here. Coming back now. You're right, Joe. That's a dangerous matchup.
Barker's goal, but Harper's effort in the middle was memorable.
And he moved into the middle, Sandy, about 4 minutes ago, and since then the Hawks have been on fire.
And they lead. They've taken the lead for the first time in this game, and Woods is just outside 50. He's going to have to be quick. Needed someone down forward. McGrath has taken the punt, and he did well. He chanced his arm. He kicks towards the middle. Kilpatrick almost gave a bit of a shove at the back. That was okay. Harford again. Rawlings hand pass dropped short. Mensch very cleverly towards Snell. Back to Steinfort. Time ticking away for Carl Steinfort. Wobbled one in towards half forward. Barry Young couldn't quite take the mark. Socket off the ground again by Mensch. Tallis and co need support. Bowyer comes in late. Mensch tries to come out the back door. Gives a little ground. Here's a chance for King. Stephen King gives it away towards Clark. They're going backwards at the moment. Milburn gets inside 50. Then pokes out the hand pass towards Snell. He's 45 metres out. Flat looking punt over Crowd. Bounces over the back towards Bowyer. Hawthorn will get out of trouble. Bowyer will bounce his way out of the back pocket with just a minute and a half remaining.
Keeps it low for Rock. Rock says, what were you doing? But the end result's pretty good.
And the first change of the night by Geelong is Spriggs on and Houlihan off.
He had players, Snell, Geelong teammates in the corridor, but under pressure, and that's what finals does to you. Just never saw them. Had the blinkers on for the goals, direction of the goal at least anyway. Good players adapt earlier and see all the options.
Can Spriggs impact immediately as a rover here? Woods, Chick's been very important, like Harford in the second half of the term. Good kick to Holland. Hawks on top here. Rock's running really hard short. He decides to go Barker, Thompson. They'll fly together. No one roving, though. Barker's got half a chance. He's in the pocket with McGrath. McGrath takes him on. Barker back to Thompson. He has to wait. He knew that Harley was coming, and they held him up for a ball up. Not a bad result for the Hawks, though.
There's McGrath and Johnny Barker.
And Ronnie Burns has pushed down to Hawthorn's back lines. He's searching for a kick down here, and Limber Cave's still following him.
Only the one possession to Ronnie.
He has done that.
Played a lot on the wing this year, hasn't he? Just going out to get himself into the game. Clever play, though.
Thompson, Scarlett, and also Holland involved. Down to Thompson. Can he get it back? McGrath is playing his 200th match for the Cats tonight. 207 overall. Over the line and a boundary throw in.
Well, you called the big fella Dibber call Spriggs on. He's gone into the forward line, and it looks like Barry Young's minding him, which is a dangerous matchup.
We talked also about the Daniel Harford move. He's been effective in the last few minutes. 8 possessions. Well, that was almost thrown out to Dixon by Chick, but he accepted it. Now he runs out of options. Had to go towards Holland. Rock is the backup. Tallis is further afield. Raiden Tallis, 52 out. Short little chip. Young was in the front. Couldn't take the mark. Scholl should tidy up. Under the pump. He kicks it wide. Goes towards the outer side. Milburn was there. Clark is there also with Bowyer. And we've got a throw in front of the scoreboard that sees the Hawks leading by 3 points with just seconds remaining.
Anthony Rock has done a power of work tonight. He's just running and running, finding space.
Yeah, he's been good work for them, hasn't he? Good work rate, 7 possessions so far, Dip.
McGrath took it from Barker, snapped in towards goal. Dixon away to the left and one behind.
Other thing with Rock, they normally bring him off after about 20 minutes of a quarter, don't they? They've left him on for the whole of the opening term.
They're taking him out of the middle though. This quarter's been played in halves, hasn't it? We got a match of 8s tonight, perhaps. Geelong control the first 15 minutes or so, and Hawthorn have had the last.
Graham for perhaps the last kick of the quarter, and it is. Yes, Dermot, Geelong had control very early on and perhaps didn't take advantage when they had the opportunity, and then a couple of errors, and all of a sudden Hawthorn were able to sneak back with some late goals, and now Shane Crawford, John Barker, Anthony Rock, Mark Graham have all kicked goals for the Hawks in the first quarter, whilst for the Cats, Clint Bizzle, Peter Riccardi and Adam Houlihan all have singles.
It's about what we expected, I reckon.
Thereabouts, yep. Less than a goal in it.
4 points in it, Bruce. Good tight start. Geelong dominating early, Hawthorn hitting back, Riccardi out of the middle, up towards the half-forward line. Big pack of players, waiting down is Rawlings, gives a little ground, then finds Crode. Flicks it wide to the outer side of where Woods has made some space. Controls it pretty well and recovers, has a bounce and leads up towards right half forward. Hawthorn looking for a better start to this quarter. Thompson's been very quiet, couldn't get into it. Sanderson could have been shoved in the back, is called to play on. The ball bounces towards half forward. Graham sneaks away from Holland and takes the mark.
And Spriggs finds himself back on the bench. Play on call here.
He's in trouble. Tutwell is going to get away with a free kick.
I think also Leckis has come on for Barry Young for the Hawks as well. And Dixon's off. And Barlow's replaced him.
Yep, Chris Barlow down there, we just saw in the action. Graham to the outer side. Big clearing kick up towards centre wing. Mensch a long way. Crode over the top, trying to find his captain. Mensch on his hammer. He's able to get the hand pass clear. They can set something up here. Here's Woods outside 50. Not going for distance, he's going for Thompson. But Thompson was gang tackled, spills to ground, comes back to Woods again. Bends it high in towards half forward. Rocks giving away plenty of inches. Holland is caught and he's going nowhere.
Good wrap up by Buddha.
Hasn't had a whole heap of it yet, Buddha, but love to impose himself on this match.
He's got a problem though, Bruce, because he's one-on-one with Tony Woods, and Woods is getting plenty of the football. And, well, Buddha Hocking may find himself forward if Woods continues to dominate.
13 possessions for Woods, and a lot of them have been late in the last few minutes of the first quarter and early stage here. Barlow's handball, Hocking was very good, fended off, read it best, and Scholes kicked that dreadfully to Burns. McCabe with him. Burns just get a second crack. McCabe quick. That's one of the reasons he's on him. Graham trying to get a toe poke in, couldn't. It was good effort by Mensch. And now Crow to expose with pace, a bounce, tucks it under the shoulder, and then kicks cleverly to Thompson. That was explosive stuff.
You just saw the distance. If we get another replay look at that, the distance between Trent Crode and his opponent Mensch on the pickup. And then watch the distance between the two. Sorry, it's Milburn, who's a midfielder. And the side-on angle later on will show he's put distance between them.
Well, this to give the Hawks a little gap. Remember that Geelong got the early break in the match. They led 3.5 to 1. Thompson from about 45. It's coming back. There are good signs here.
Well, it was a pretty emphatic shot at goal, that one, and Nathan Thompson would be very pleased getting that one away. But this is a good sign also. This kid is by far a better centre-half back, in my view, than a forward.
Yep.
And when he bursts off like that, I reckon any Hawthorn fan, and particularly the coaching panel, would be disappointed if a goal doesn't result. It did that time, and they grabbed the lead, a significant one.
The lead extended to 10 points in their only encounter this season, the home and away. Hawthorn was successful by 25 points. That was back in round 9. Chick caught by Buddha Hocking. Steinfurt taken to ground. That looked like World Championship Wrestling. And there will be another bounce still in the middle.
One interesting thing there, Harford was right up to Paul Salmon, chest to chest, asking the instructions, and Steinfurt was just following him around, just eavesdropping, and they didn't want it to happen there. They're still at it.
Still at it, all right. Still in the middle. Salmon and King both poking wide, and Hocking sockers off the ground.
Sanderson now picking up Crawford when he's forward, and Barlow's now got Harley.
Hocking 6 possessions to date. Crawford has 7 for the Hawks. Bowyer has 8, Woods 13 and Rock 7. Speaking of Woods, here's another one in towards half-forward. Out comes Barker. Couldn't take it. Barlow picks it up. Floats a high kick, but it's wide and away to the left and goes over the line in the left forward pocket.
I'm just looking back at the midfield now. There's Chris Barlow on screen. Ronnie Burns definitely is playing as a true winger now. He's only got the 1 possession, so he's just trying to work himself into the game. They need him getting the ball, the Cats.
Dangerous times here for Geelong at the moment. Riccardi hurriedly onto the left boot. Back towards Snell. A little too far for him. Houlihan had it and lost it. Bowyer through with strength. Held it for a long time. I think he wanted Holland, but he didn't find him. McCabe had it and then lost it. Back it comes to Holland again. Came from his skipper Crawford to Chick. Gave a nudge and gave away the free kick.
Riccardi in the back half. Is it 50?
Yep, done. Got the ascendancy here, the Hawks. They've got the momentum, and they throw away a 50-metre penalty.
Didn't really need to do it, Chick. He's a lot bigger man, a lot stronger. We'll have a look at it again here. Yeah, left arm and pushes off him. That's a free all day long. All night long.
So whether it just slipped out of Barlow's hand or not when
Clark
he's trying to
by
get it
himself.
back. Thanks, Dipper, and he might get him too, and he has. Just outside 50. This is not his trademark goal, Clark. He's a runner.
King's down in the square. He'll lead from there.
Goes to the pocket. Oh, a couple of Cats hard at each other, including King and Snell. Back to the Salmon. Crowed. A hard man to stop. He's like a runaway train when he gets going. Good kick. Rawlings, I think, has been impressive early.
I'll tell you what, there was a bit of bravery in that kick too.
Swings it. There's some confidence, but they might be a bit too cheeky here. Woods, no one seems to be able to get him. To Rawlings, they're on here to Graham. Graham can slip Tallis. Tallis can run hard. Thompson's the target. Got him. No, couldn't quite take it. It was a contest at the back from Scarlett. Ball comes out to Dutchy. Can he straighten? There's a free kick coming back to the Cats.
That could be 50.
Is it coming to...
Yeah.
Riccardi. It's got to be Riccardi.
So coming back to Riccardi.
Well, Hawks stiff here in my view. I thought Scarlett had given away a free kick and still question the value of that matchup. Maybe Bluey McGrath would be better on Thompson, but they get a lucky one and they're back alive here, the Cats.
Wojcinski on now.
And Sanderson towards Mensch. Picks up a finger tipper. Has Bluey McGrath storming through the centre. Down towards half forward. Penetrating kick. Gets some distance. Bizzle has got to beat a couple. Jonathan Hay. Paul Salmon. Gee, Bizzle did well. Tries to find Houlihan. He's running out of space. Harford right on his hammer. Well done by Daniel Harford. Maintained his composure. Hay running out of room. Somehow keeps it in play. Perhaps he shouldn't have. Milburn towards goal. Bowyer's at the back and should tidy up. A lot of brown and gold tucked in that back pocket, and away he comes. Now forced to stop. He thought about Tallis, long and hard about Tallis, then went a little further to Barker.
And Harley's in defence. He's picking up Holland.
Here he is.
Graham's been released to the midfield, if perhaps only temporarily.
Holland in towards the pocket. He wanted Thompson again, drawn a little too far underneath.
One thing about Thompson, Jeremy, he's still leading, even though he's sort of running under the ball. There's good signs, he's still in front.
More of a bad kick there, I think, Jared.
And King's gone forward, and I think it's Ben Graham that's taken the midfield ruckman's role.
You saw Geelong's
No, he's
last
starting
goal.
about to come on, boys, and Mensch be coming off.
They haven't scored, Geelong, in this quarter. Here's Crawford. He's going to make it even tougher, but he hits the woodwork. So big barriers coming on. I wonder Is this going to be his last game? What a player he's been for the Geelong Footy Club, making his debut way back in 1986.
He's been a star.
McCarty short to Steinfort, to Hocking, who's played so many of those finals matches with Stoneham, to Burns, to Steinfort. They need a goal, the Cats.
Got nothing ahead.
Woods has been terrific. Wojcinski's pace could help. Gets onto the left, bangs it, very poor kick. Seven has to sit and wait, then it gets away from him. But Hay goes to ground just at the wrong time, but the Fish was able to provide the check to McCabe, to Crode. Big fly. Woods has been outstanding. Good kick off the boot. Front spot Bowyer, picked off at the back. Chance for Steinfort. Caught up though by Lekas, was a good tackle. Toe poke forward came firstly from Barlow. Bowyer gets involved. Riccardi gets involved.
Bruce hocking off now for Geelong. Spriggs is on the ground now. And they want Bellystone with full forward and they're pushing Bizzle up.
This next 7 or 8 minutes, I reckon, will be the most important period of the match. The heat is on from both sides, and if one cracks, could find 3 or 4 quick ones go on before halftime.
The Cats must throw a challenge now. 12 and a half minutes remaining in the half. Snell goes up towards right half forward. That's better. Finds the big man within kicking distance. And Benny Graham hasn't missed a game this year. One of 6 Cats who's played in every game.
And smart coaching, I think, in the Cats' corner. Nothing was happening for them. The game was slowly slipping away, so Bomber Thompson has just changed the chemistry of their side.
Starts it way too far left. He's kicked 14 for the season. And it won't add to that addition. It was always going to be left, wasn't it? Hey.
Clint Bizzle, you know, you get some forwards that just don't get much of it because they're out of form. Clint Bizzle still looks dangerous. It's just that this bloke, Jonathan Hay, is just playing too good a footy at the moment.
Hines Barker.
Great kick.
Beautiful kick by Hay. Towards the running Barlow. If it sits, he could be in business. Barlow on centre wing has players screaming in the middle, but he looks further downfield onto the lead of Thompson. Couldn't quite take it on the half volley. Almost stolen, but beautifully done. And a snap. Don't tell me that's a goal. That is a magnificent goal from Bowyer. They don't come much better than that in pressure cooker finals football, Dermot.
That's incredible. That is an exceptionally low percentage goal, but it is one where the team just draws something from. And as I said, you've got about, I reckon, Gerard, there's about another 4 or 5 minutes left of that 7 or 8 minute period, and both teams are having a real crack here at the moment. The tempo has lifted from what it was in the first quarter.
Look, it was a great give also, wasn't it, by Thompson. It was a fantastic little give off to Bowyer, and he took full advantage.
What a goal. They've kicked the last 5 for Hawks.
And Burns is by himself on the wing here.
And Bowyer by himself on the other wing. Good shot in screen.
King just beat Salmon for it. The Cats have got to find something here. King to Burns. So Burns comes into play, arches his back, goes for it, controls it, kicks to full forward. Front spot, Barry comes to ground. Oh, Lekas, good tackle on Bizzle. Graham's toe poke effective, got it outside 50. Bowyer running hard. Do you reckon his adrenaline would be pumping right now? He would be on an all-time high out there.
12th possession.
To Woods, to Check. The Hawks are right on top here. Can they put a real space in the Cats?
They're running, aren't they?
Tallis, plenty of time. No one around him. Short, good kick. Crawford's been pretty good, I reckon. He's had 9 goes before this. Just pops it up, not a good kick. Scarlett probably in the end probably should have taken it. Scholl rides it pretty well and then comes away from centre half back.
He's not out of it yet. Gets clear towards centre wing. He's got Milburn. And he in turn wants Stoneham. Baz has got it on right half forward, but still a long way out. So he gives away a little ground. Comes back towards Kilpatrick.
Milburn by himself in the pocket.
He's going to go even more laterally. This is going to put pressure on Ronnie Burns. He's going to need assistance here. McGrath is there. Burns goes over the top, goes a little further. Now they've got the opportunity. The long kick from Steinfort goes in towards full forward. They need a mark. They don't get it. Hay is there, lurking dangerously, ready to try and clear. And the tackling has been fierce. The aggression, as you would expect, especially in the last 15 minutes by Hawthorn, who are starting to run like a well-oiled machine. And just a few splatters in the Cats' engine, Dermy. A bounce. And a critical time. King couldn't get a run at it. Eventually it comes towards Milburn. Snell around the body. That's high, King's kick. And he offers just one behind. Big Stephen King, All-Australian, and what a year.
I would imagine for the Cats there'd be 17 other blokes that have preferred to have the ball in hand, snapping over the right shoulder from that range.
Chapman getting it out, so the 18-year-old out there. Hay in the pocket. There's a confidence here about Hawthorn. They started shakily, but they've steadied really well. And they're right on top here.
Brucey, that was the Cats' first score for the quarter.
And they've been going nearly 15 minutes. Hay. Bowyer's a big leaper at the back, but the mark by Barker has been so impressive. Kick to Graham. They've played the percentages well, haven't they, coming out of the back?
Oh. That's good umpiring. He tried to milk that for 50 metres and he was awake up to it.
Poor floater, but maybe Chick. They sort of Chick and Holland, they weren't sure in the end. Run down to the back rock, back to, rather Barlow I should say. Holland had it taken off him, Wojcinski wide. Chance for Spriggs. Can the youth of Geelong do something? Not a great kick. Bizzle makes a contest. Hay overruns it. Bizzle gets a second crack. Hay's got him. It'll be a ball up. About 48 metres out. Cats in attack, needing one.
Well, what the Hawks have done particularly well in the last 5 minutes is just drop that extra player back. The Cats are all pushing up their forwards into the middle. And Paul Salmon is leading the charge with a couple of other players just dropping into defence. And David Spriggs had little option but to try and find something where nothing really existed.
16 points the margin. Milburn to Snell. Around the body he goes. Flicking it in towards full forward. Riccardi was there to try and take it. It was unsuccessful. Rawlings has a run. Graham also. Crode is there too. Graham has got to beat a couple of them. Gee worked hard. Crode is still going. Caught from behind and beautifully tackled. Now Stoneham. The Cats a chance. And the youngster marks just inside 50, David Spriggs.
Labouring it forward, the Cats, they just seem to be venomless. When the ball comes in on the move, and that's how you want to win your basic game plan, the ball moving into the forward line quickly, they just have nothing on offer that looks like any real threat.
Not the straightest kick for goal. 5 goals, 9 for the season. He's gone back a long, long way as well. But this to cut the margin, the deficit to 10 points. .48 metres. Good looking kick. Hawthorn leads by 10 points. Spriggs has his first. And the Cats have their first for the quarter.
And it looks like they're going to do a bit of a tag team here on Stephen King. Paul Salmon coming off. Ben Dixon will go to full forward and Nathan Thompson will go into the ruck. Double change happening.
Tony Wood's also coming from the ground. Joel Smith gets his first opportunity.
There's a look down the ground. Woods and Salmon off for the Hawks. Thompson into the ruck. Dixon to full forward.
And Smith in the middle.
Thanks, Dipper. 4-5-6-3. An important goal by Spriggs. Thompson, King beats him. Snell to Spriggs. So he's had a good start here, Spriggs, in the second quarter. Weighted the kick pretty well. Riccardi front spot. Graham was at the back. Riccardi searching for it. Tallis toe poke. Only as far as Snell. Back to Burns. Can he weave some magic? Not quite. Still has some time. Back to Spriggs. Spriggs careful on the kick. Wants Graham at full forward. It was a good contest with Crowe. Oh! High tackle, free kick. And Chapman, I think it is, the 18-year-old at the front of the square. So suddenly, the Cats strike back here a bit through Spriggs a moment ago, and maybe the other teenager in Chapman can kick a goal.
Just didn't get down low enough, Trent Crode, but if you've got the ball like young Chapman, they have to dispossess you. Jesus, solidly built kid, isn't he?
He's played in rounds 12, 13 and came back last week. Hasn't kicked a goal, but he is very new.
And his first kick tonight.
Well, he's 20 metres out. He's basically in front and he kicks the goal and the Cats are within a kick. That's a good sign that two teenagers under pressure have delivered in Spriggs and Chapman.
I think really it was numbers around the ball from Geelong. We haven't seen them running in any sort of attacking group for the best part of the quarter, Dermot. In the last 5 minutes, they've changed the structure around. They've put Ben Graham to the forward line and given them a target. And the small fries have got somewhere to run to.
They lacked that, didn't they? They didn't have a focal point up there.
3 minutes ago, the margin was 16 points. It is now 4 in favour of the Hawks.
No wingers out there, Sandy.
5.5 minutes remaining. Thompson on the ball. Tries to use his strength to get clear towards Chick. Perhaps should have tried to sock it further downfield because they've lost it. Just for a moment, maybe. A high ball by Matthew Scarlett goes straight up and down. Difficult one for Snell. Spriggs is there and he's been busy since coming on. Gets it towards Scholl. Got caught going the other way, but he's steady as a rock. He looks back towards centre wing. Clever kick and finds the youngster in Chapman, who's just kicked a goal.
Probably Geelong's best player, Bradshaw.
Chapman is colourblind. That was extraordinary, wasn't it?
Having trouble with his stripes as well, would you say?
McCabe on centre wing. Luke McCabe.
Holland on the move.
Drifts it in towards the middle. It was meant for Holland. Oh, Graham, that was strength and skill. Fantastic play. Gets it away quickly towards Harley. Wobbled it down to half forward. Riccardi's hand pass. Again, very interesting. I think he did.
Yep.
He goes again. Was leg. Got rid of it to Bizzle. Bizzle's under the pump. He gets it clear, however. A chance once again for the youngster. He goes goalwards. No one at home. Chapman's kick is high, but it is wide. And the Hawks will get out of trouble.
Not yet.
Still inside the defensive 50. Chick had to squeeze in the end. Barlow and Snell. The momentum's with Geelong now, after it was with them early and then all with Hawthorn for a while. Spriggs has got some time, didn't panic, got Scarlett, released him, kicks to half forward, important mark coming up. Bizzle was just terrific. It was on, wasn't it? It was on.
They've hit back well here, the Cats. This is restructuring at its best with big Benny Graham going up forward. They feel more confident going into the forward line, keeping the ball in the corridor. He was just loitering it. You see the kick that comes in on replay actually goes over Ben Graham's head. So he's hugging the spine, and it's giving the midfield more confidence to put the ball into the centre of the corridor there.
Graham's taken Croydon physically a couple of times and come off best. He's been very impressive. Bizzle to put the Cats in front. He's done it.
Sweet.
So you pointed him out at the start, Dermot. He's kicked a couple. He hasn't had a whole lot of it, but as you said, he's always had the feeling that he is dangerous, and he's kicked 2 before half-time.
And it was an important shot at goal because they've done all the work. Put a Hawkins back on the ground. He's just been given a bit of time to sit back and collect his thoughts. And now he's on for the final 3 minutes of this term.
Clint Bizzle, the only multiple goal scorer on the ground. So things warming up for the Cats. They've got Buddha off the bench, back in the fray. King up against Thompson. The former went a little early. Chick did well, back towards Thompson. Somehow manufactures a kick down towards Dixon. The Hawks now, the ones that need a steadier. Dixon running the wrong way, comes across the ground to McCabe territory. Luke McCabe goes back inboard to half forward. The Cats should chop it off. And Sanderson does.
Sandy, for the 30 minutes of the match that Daniel Harford has been sitting up in the forward line, the Hawks have just been slaughtered. When he's been in the middle of the ground, they've been well on top.
Oh, that'll hurt. Bizzle came over the top. Harley gives him support. Graham could have caught one in the back. He did. Suddenly the momentum has swung.
Dermot Harford, got to get him back on the ball.
I reckon he's just trying to pace his midfielders at the moment, though, Schwab.
Well, plenty of time for pacing when you're 8 in front.
Bowyer off. Young on. Burns to full forward. Riccardi couldn't take it. Graham trying to get out the back door. Leckis tucked in the back pocket. Drops a nervous one. McCabe is there. Leckis goes again and again to the line.
Certainly up the tempo, the Cats. Their tackling's gone up to that first 15-minute period that they had in the first quarter.
Holland's picked himself up pretty well. The trainers run out in a hurry. perceived pressure is important, and that's what Leckers felt a moment ago, didn't he? Because the Cats have upped it. Spriggs, back turn. Chapman's tackle was just terrific. Burns waited it beautifully. Hocking probably waited just too long to get much on it, but Barry Stone in front spot at the back. Smith got some time. He looked up. There was nowhere to go. Now Chick's working really hard here, but he's going to be... Now he comes in board, Chick. Smith, can he bring it back? It's a very poor kick in the end. Stoneham's been quite important here. To Riccardi, to King. I think I said the Hawks were all on top 10 minutes ago. Just swap it over. Scarlett to centre half forward. Tallis, Chapman, whose ability to get into the contest has been pretty impressive here. And it'll be a ball up. 6-5, 6-3. Geelong lead by 2 points. Well inside their 50. Not long to go before half-time. Two relatively inexperienced teams in a final. Both clubs desperate to win a finals match. It's been so long. Kilpatrick, Chick, Rock. Chick gets back, and then Hocking puts the pressure on Chick, and there'll be a ball in. With the Cats about 30 metres away from that point post that we can see.
Spriggs, Bizzle and Chapman have been the goal kickers for the Cats in their comeback. Almost a high tackle, but play allowed to go on and taken to the line. We've got another throw in inside the last minute. So the Hawthorn defence just feeling it now after they looked set to perhaps set up a bit of a break at half-time. Their goal kickers have been Thompson and Bowyer for the quarter. Joel Smith on the ground, as we said. Spriggs tucked in the pocket. Chick right there with him. Oh, stolen. Absolute steal. Tallis got an extraordinary spin. Not to his liking.
And it's amazing that the Chiefs' small goal kicker for both sides, as we have a look at the steal from Chick, and I speak of Ben Dixon and Ronnie Burns, are both goalless and really have had no effect on the game.
Just inside 50. The Smith tackle, trying to lock it up. Out it comes now, an opportunity for Chapman. Bending it into the pocket, meant for Snell. Just a little too wide. And Snell perhaps suggesting maybe the hand pass could have been the option.
He's found a bit of it. 5 possessions this quarter, Chapman. The last 4 disposals have reaped 3 clear misses and 1 goal.
Still in the pocket. Hocking tries to come over the top. Waiting down is Rock.
Keeps it short to Rawlings. It's got to get their composure back here, the Hawks.
I think the siren will do it for them, Bruce.
So Rawlings goes deep to centre wing. A big shove out there, but no free kick paid to the Cats. Burns, still Burns, can put a kick a goal on half-time, gives it all he's got, wobbles it, and that would have been a deadly blow, but nothing came of it. But the Cats will be pretty happy. But it's been a match where both teams have had some chances, haven't they? Geelong early. A bit happening there down on the ground. There's an hour left, and there's an hour left for one of these clubs, and there's a chance to go at least through to the top 6. Spriggs, who was very important in the second half of that second term, kicks to half forward. Tallis with a bit of a chance, had to fetch it in the end, and he did, and then controlled it well to Barker, who was damaging early. Just tried to get Bluey to give a 50 away, not on.
Barker's getting plenty of the footy, but it's Nick Holland they need to fire, the Hawks, in the second half.
And speak of him, he's in the gun there. Almost had a second crack. Burns very deep. He's played himself into form, Burns, didn't he? Late in that second quarter.
Yeah, when we saw the centre bounce matchups and the bounce downs in the second quarter, you saw Ronnie Burns was on one wing by himself and Glenn Bowyer on the other wing by himself, and that man there, Ronnie Burns, went from 1 possession to 8 in a hurry.
Mensch back on the ground in the forward line, and so is Ben Graham at centre half.
McGrath and Barker, but it's Chick who's away. Daniel Chick can go all the way from 49 metres. He lets fly and he kicks a great goal to start the third quarter for the Hawks.
Well, the Cats would be looking at Daniel Chick at the moment, and I think even though he hasn't had a great deal of the ball, 11 possessions to this point in time, he has been, along with Nick Holland, the igniter of Hawthorn's final chances over the last 5 weeks or so, and he hasn't had a big impact, but they've used him sparingly, the Hawks, so I would think that Peter Schwab would be hoping he can run out the full second half in blistering fashion, and that is not a good sign for the Cats, that he was able to pace away from the pack.
Yeah, Mark Thompson would have been disappointed with that at a neutral ball situation. Got to have the back covered. He just slipped out the side door and kicked a goal.
So Hawthorn hope their nose is in front. 4 points the margin. Salmon beaten. Woods out of the centre, however, for the Hawks. Down towards the half-forward line. Bowyer tried to get it off quickly. Stolen and taken by King. Here's an opportunity now for Kilpatrick to give it to Ronnie. Burns spears the pass in towards Mensch. Picked it up nicely on the half volley, but then got into trouble. Couldn't take it away. Snell applies a good tackle. Rawlings off the ground towards the boundary line. He goes. Kilpatrick in late. Ball's going to be kept in play. And it is a chance for them towards Riccardi and Graham. Salmon is there as well. The big men take it. Out the back comes Hay. Tried to get the hand pass towards Graham. Sock it away and take it through for one behind.
Bruce, you mentioned Stoneman before. He's on the bench with Steinford, Clark and Houlihan for Hawthorn, Smith, Facconi, Rock and Barlow.
Thanks, Dipper. Ben Graham just pulled up short there for a moment, didn't he?
But it was a great lunge, Bruce, a fantastic second effort just to put the hand on his Hawk opponent to force another scoring opportunity.
Graham in short, Mark Graham.
And this is the style of play that inflates that kick count and also mark count.
Kicks to Bowyer and Holland. Bowyer pushed forward. Important ball with Wojcinski. Good tackle by Young.
Pretty high.
That was a good tackle there, Gerard. Spot on tackle, that one.
There's Ben Graham.
Just thought it might have been a little bit high when his neck reverberated, Dipper. Can't really.
Anyway, you can apologise to me now.
Have a good look.
You've always had a bit of confidence, Dipper. And so's the bloke you're arguing with, by the way. Woods to Snell. Snell just pops it up for Mensch and Rawlings. Front spot Mensch. Rawlings got it away from him. Ben Graham forced to go. Good tackle by Crowd. Gets to Leckis. Back to Rawlings. Rawlings chip kick. Crawford works hard. Didn't find the footy much late. In fact, was he on the ground late in the second quarter? Hardly saw him after about the 10-minute mark of the second term. Good long kick for the direction and finds Leckis. That was a penetrating kick by Crawford.
Now this is where Holland hasn't had much room. He's got to be the target now.
He is. Let's see if he can take one. Harley with him.
Well done, Harley.
Read beautifully by Dixon now. He's a penetrating kick, but that's a poor return. Blazing a bit.
And Jonathan Hay, a bit of trouble in the back line down here. Barry Gavin's at him. He's just pointing to his knee.
So it hasn't happened for Dixon yet tonight, has it?
Not yet. All Ronnie Burns just starting to get a few possessions, but more up the ground. But I just wonder whether Nick Holland wouldn't benefit from a run on the ball.
3 points in it.
That was good play by Paul Salmon. Just giving him the screen there.
Here's the man we're talking about. Holland chipping short. That's okay because Woods is well inside 50 and can have a shot.
There's a bit of bilingual exchange going on there, isn't there? I don't think some of those words are in the dictionary.
They're in mine.
A very big dictionary yours, Robert.
A chance to stretch the lead to 9 points. Woods for his first goal and his 6th for the season. Yeah. He's got it. And again, Hawthorn draw away. Tony Woods off a big year last year. Tied for second in the club championship and still going pretty strong.
Well, no Ben Graham in defence, and all of a sudden the Hawks have kicked a couple of goals. He must be betwixt and between Mark Thompson in the Geelong coaching box, where to place him if they get another one.
19 possessions for Woods.
So the Hawks have got the start they wanted. 8 goals to 6. Woods so important here. What a remarkable player he has become at 31 years of age. Crawford in close to Chick. Held up by Wojcinski. Good hands from King to Spriggs to centre half forward. Graham can't quite get into it. Hocking went to ground. Rawlings missed the lot. Mensch, Young back, toe poke the line. Boundary throw-in. Holding them up pretty effectively there, Hawthorn. Mensch having trouble just getting to the ball. Hay, now this is where Hay might have hurt himself a bit there. And also Graham. Backhanded by Salmon. Hawking. And a boundary throw-in again.
So you'd have the better idea of what happened with Hay's knee then, Gerard. Just the foot got tucked under him a bit and looked like it pulled open his knee a fraction.
Yeah, but he's still he's going all right, I think. He would have just given it a little bit of a jolt. Away we go.
King and Salmon. The fish did well. Got it to Young. Well read by Hocking. Brilliantly read. Goes for goal and kicks it. A classic.
He's brilliant when his shirt face is actually pointing at the goals and the ball is in dispute. He just reads where the thing's going and he hits it with pace, and he kicks a lot of goals on the move towards his team goals.
I think that was just justice, Dermot, because the last time the ball came forward, I was having a look forward of the ball, and Buddha Hocking was dragged out of the play. Umpire, I thought, lacked a little bit of courage. A free kick should have been given, but he squared it up.
What a campaigner Buddha Hocking has been. 257 games and a season finals campaigner. This is his 21st. So the Cats come back out of the middle. Spriggs heavily bumped. A chance for them to draw away through Wojcinski. And look at him go! Wojcinski! He might go all the way. He's got to get past Salmon. And Woods then decides to backpedal and he goes back to Buddha. Great play as he puts them inside 50. Chapman was a target, couldn't take it cleanly. Milburn's at the back. Try this on the left foot. See how he goes. He floats it for a beauty. Back come the Cats.
And full credit to Wojcinski. That was brilliant play. Most players, when they get the adrenaline running, Dermot, just can't help themselves. They've got goal of the year in mind, and it was just great control, great discipline, and proves that this kid is a very special player, that he can assess the situation, realise that there's nothing on completely, and he goes back and kicks it backwards, and a goal results through a fantastic conversion by Milburn.
On the phone, the Cats, so that's Snell. So the lead changes again. We've had a couple in this term.
Snell off for Clark.
So Spriggs important in this term in the centre square.
Great hit.
4 lead changes in the match. Hocking up and under. Gee, Crode missed it. Might get a second crack here though. Chapman's on him. He's got a strong body, Chapman, and held him up.
He's put together, the kid, isn't he? You had to look at him close up when he had that set shot at goals, and there's a fair set of legs on the boy. He's got a lot of strength in the section that counts around the middle.
William McGrath getting some attention by the doc.
The Cats have gone in with 3 teenagers, Clark, Wojcinski and also Chapman, and they haven't let them down. Hocking's read at best, blazes a bit, mention Rawlings. You'd fancy Rawlings if it's athletically, and an athletic contest, but it runs away. 8-6 to 8-3. Cats, have a look at this. Their last 6 wins, they have been so close. I think they average about 9 points a win over a long period of time. They don't like winning by much, do they? A point tonight would be just beautiful. They don't care how much. Well read. Clark's kick to the front of the square. Oh, Nilly Bizzle, beautifully read. And Mitch gets his first.
Elementary football there by David Mitch. Just ran to the shirt front. The ball's coming in flat, but it was always going to go to around the midriff zone, so it's never going to spill anywhere but front and forward. There we go. And Jade Rawlings runs to the back. David Mitch runs to the front. Clever play. Just playing the percentages there.
Geez, they've got some important footballs away from the neutral clearances at the moment, the Cats.
Another extraordinary quarter unfolding. Hawthorn starting, the Cats looking in trouble, then back they come.
David Spriggs still alone. He's been important at these centre bounce takeaways.
Mensch gets his first. Hocking's at the bottom, sits under it, then almost threw it out to King. King didn't like some attention he was getting, and neither did McGrath behind the play. I'm sure Dipper will keep an eye on that as Crode gets a hurried kick up towards right half forward, taken towards the line. It's still on behind play with Chick, Hocking and co.
I think Bluey is just about to get reported here. I think Barker went down. The emergency umpire now running out to Bruce McGrath here.
McGrath and Barker still having a bit of a chat. Well, a little bit of pushing and shoving. Hardly Frazier, Ali. And another throw in on centre wing.
I think there was a fair bit of daylight between the fist and Jonathan Barker's head.
No, he's just saying, calm down, boys.
Yeah, good umpiring.
9 points the margin in favour of the Cats. Holland just trying a gentle toe poke, but it's Kilpatrick who takes it away down towards half forward. Tallis had it, regained it, lost it. Well done by Ronnie Burns. McLeod close to the line, it's gone over. And there'll be another throw.
So one player for Geelong, Sanderson, he does the job week in, week out. He's on Dixon tonight and he's had a sniff.
That's how that little piece of interaction began. Dermot, there's a lot of brown and gold in your veins. You're all worried at the moment. You're calm.
Oh, there's plenty of the game to go still, but the Cats have got the ascendancy at the moment.
Dash from Tallis. Maybe he can set something up for Holland. He's in the middle of the ground.
And that's the first time, Sandy, we've seen him run forward to the ball and take a mark. He's really got to just start getting
loose
the skates
players
on again.
Sorry, Jared. There was loose players downfield. One was Chick. He can go, but eventually gets caught. Is forced to push the hand pass wide towards Thompson. Oh, he comes round in a long arc. Loses it. Spriggs is ripped to the ground. We're playing for keeps, as you know. The season is just about over for one of these sides. The only thing to follow will be Mad Monday.
Benny Dixon laying the tackle there. He's only had 4 possessions tonight on screen, as Dipper called. Brenton Sanderson doing a good job on him.
So right in the hot spot here, about 30 metres from the Hawks' goal. Barker and Graham, as Ben Graham, then Hocking belts it wide to McGrath, running away from him, and it'll be a boundary throw in.
King back to full forward for the Cats, and Ben Graham, as you just saw, back into the middle. Such an important player for them as a midfield runner.
Crowd not huge, bit disappointing to be truthful. Really urging their fans on here. Graham and Barker. Down low, Bowyer. Collected front and back by Spriggs and Graham. And another ball up. Rudzinski coming up.
Chapman looks like he's going to have a rest.
See, tempers have been tested down here. I reckon there's just one punch away from a big brawl here.
Houlihan on. Graham. Barker. Kicked away by Kilpatrick to Harford, who we haven't seen a lot of since that brilliant burst early. Lekus, just outside his range. What does he do here? He goes wide. Free kick, no. Play on. Thompson went to ground. Scarlett, okay. Sweeping handball effective, and McGrath's away. And the Cats have got a bit of poise about them at the moment. Bizzle front spot, Hay at the back. Ball to be read. Houlihan, clever, very clever, and then goes to the pocket. Can he get to King? No. Crow cuts it off at half-back, but the Hawks need a goal. Switches play, gets to Rawlings. They've got numbers on the other side.
And he can go to Bowyer if he likes. And he does like. From one back pocket to the other. To the outer side of the ground, and John Barker. Just over centre wing now. His delivery to Dixon. A little questionable. Graham again. Gee, he's been very good. Hocking controlled it magnificently. Comes inboard. They can set something up here once again as Harley's kick is a high floater. Hay got a hand to it. Out the back is Crow. Tries to get through some heavy traffic. Was beautifully caught. Could have been pinged. Bizzle was the tackler. Kilpatrick gets a hurried kick towards the forward pocket. King and Rawlings. Rawlings will have the pace, and he finds the line.
Would have been a touch lucky there, Trent Crow. He attempted to break the tackle with the fend off and didn't get the ball away at all legally. It just slipped out of the hands. As we have a look at this, not sure whether that's prior opportunity, but he did try and affect the broken tackle.
I think he was pretty fortunate that Clint Biswell might have even slapped it away from him.
Hawthorn got the first couple of goals in this third quarter. Since then it's been Geelong as they've stormed back. Burns off the ground towards Bizzle, but Woods will intercept. It's not a good hand pass. He'll have to go again. Tony Woods. And eventually he finds the line. No other option.
20 possessions to Tony Woods, but that was a tired one. As we have a look at Buddha Hocking, just giving it to one of his young blokes just to keep him interested.
Welcome, Mr. Wojcinski.
He's had 6 possessions, Hocking, in the third quarter, so he's been an important player. They're the marks in the third term. A lot of chipping from Hawthorn. That was Ben Graham's tackle. Ball still to be won. Bowyer conceding in the end. Only way to go. So the Cats with a chance here to kick away. It's 9-7-8-3. We're at a pretty interesting point in the match, I think.
They've stepped up, haven't they? They've come up again. They went flat there just before half-time. They came good there in the late stages of the second quarter, and they've answered the challenge in the third quarter here.
Rawlings, good kick to Woods. Some half-back. Chick's really short, but he probably won't go there. Kicks to centre wing, 1-on-1, Holland and also Harley there. Minch towards the line and out of play. Just having a bit of trouble penetrating Hawthorn at the moment, aren't they?
They're just lacking a bit of move through in the midfield, and Daniel Harford's drifted out of the game.
Just to prove that, Dermot, Crawford's had just 2 possessions this quarter. Harford's had 1. Daniel Chick's just had 2.
But Hocking's had 7, Gerard, as he gets it back to Sanderson. Now Chick.
It will work though.
Still Chick. Wojcinski, that's a great tackle by Dixon. Free kick to Chick, I think.
Oh!
Now,
That's gone. He'll lose it.
Well, that's Dixon. He'll be lucky to stay on the ground for that misdemeanor.
pretty silly because they had Hawthorn had players everywhere loose. They were really on here.
Just you can feel the momentum building for the Cats.
No doubt. You reckon they're 5 minutes away from doing something here?
Yep. Maybe 5 seconds.
Minch. Big one to full forward. Can Graham get a run or Bizzle? Houlihan was probably a bit high on his man there in Leckus. Ball hasn't got clear. Cats fancy themselves here. Kilpatrick on the receiving end. Spriggs gives it all he's got. Salmon should take it. Doesn't. Now they get away. And they do mop up with Boya.
Comes back towards the half-back line. Thompson's kick towards right half forward. Johnny Barker can go short. It's got to be pinpoint accurate, and it is. Crawford is 35 out, directly in front.
A couple of changes. Salmon coming off, also Young. And I think Salmon's crooked and his shoulder or something in here.
Seems to be favouring a shoulder. So Paccioni's on and Barlow is also on, as we see that in replay, and now Crawford lining up for his second. Directly in front. He closes the gap. He kicks the goal. He's got his second.
Thought he was a chance to play on there, Jared, and cut down the margin, but he obviously went back and just thought, final. If you get pulled down from behind, and it was almost like he didn't look behind up the field, so he went for the safety there.
And there is the report coming up of Tim McGrath. Well spotted, Dipper. Yeah, I think it certainly crossed his mind. But 6 points on the board, he'd be relieved. And the fish, well, may have a broken fin.
Now, was a report there. There's salmon on the ground. Bluey McGrath was spoken to by Darren Goldspring.
He certainly didn't like it, Bluey McGrath.
4-1 out of the centre in this term, the Cats. Hocking's been very important. So back to 4 points again.
And it was an important goal for the Hawks because the Cats had the flow of play. They were attacking relentlessly. And, well, Salmon getting back did turn it over.
Harford to Woods. And then Woods up and under to half forward. Terrific contest. Barker has been so good. And now Chick. He's got some space to the pocket. The kick's gone over the back. Paccioni's come on. Can he get a toe poke? Well, he collects Scarlett and the ball goes over the line. I'm not sure if it was the right option in the end for the Hawks as they were streaming forward.
Scrubby kick.
Scarlett found himself 3 against 1. He was under extreme pressure.
Sanderson to Scholl. Now Scholl comes down the line and he wants King. Holland gets back and then King defensively towards the line and a boundary throw in. 9-7 to 9-4.
Just a game of waves at the moment, Dermot, isn't it?
They are, aren't they? I think Hawthorn are still playing with a bit of the tempo of last week, and Geelong just seem to have lifted the intensity to what they had in the last quarter last week.
Milburn in front, Paccioni there as well. McGrath through heavy traffic. Spirals a punt up towards half forward. Beautifully read by Graham. Now he's 55 out.
We've got Burns by himself out of the pocket.
And he could kick a bomb.
That is square.
He goes for the doctor.
Bizzle.
Deep in towards full forward. Bizzle's edged out and it's taken to the line. One behind conceded.
18 marks to 5 in this quarter in Hawthorn's favour. That's counting Ben Graham's just then.
4 points, now the margin. Leckus to the outer side, and Angelo's got it on half-back. They can maybe set something up here. Rawlings longer towards Barlow. He's got to beat a couple, and he can't.
And Nick Holland relied on Chris Barlow to outmark 2 opponents then and peeled off the back. Bad choice.
Short in towards the middle, and Scarlett is found from Harley in towards Milburn. Houlihan screaming for it. He likes to go wider, and that's all right because Scholl is there. Houlihan drifts down towards the pocket. Scholl ignores him for the moment. More direct. He goes in towards centre half forward. Couple of Hawks almost spoiling each other, but Thompson was in front.
Hay probably did have first touch, Sandy, but paid to Thompson. Piccioni at centre wing. Wants to play on. Lekas down low. Important handball. Harford good enough. Well done to Lekas. Forced to go in a hurry. Just floats it. Can Chick take it against the odds? Ball comes to ground. Harley, Holland, Chick got hold of it. Decides not to use Harford. Squeezes it. Piccioni and Crawford. Piccioni hasn't found the footer yet. Does he use Crawford? Hasn't quite. Still hasn't. Left foot is terrible in the end. Sanderson under pressure. Dixon with half a chance. Still attacking it. Geelong in the end with all the numbers. Milburn, good kick. And finds McGrath at half back.
Big overlap happening here for the Cats.
Comes inboard towards Clark. He's got Hocking, he's got Mensch, and he's got Graham. He uses David Mensch. Chick closes. Well done by Daniel Chick. He persisted, pulled him off the ball. Spriggs taken to ground. Could have been taken high. And he's got the free kick and things continue to warm up. It's not boiling point yet, but it's not far off it.
He could chip here to Ben Graham if he just pushes away here from the right-hand side of the mark, and he is not that far out of range. He moves now. See him running from right to left. Thinking about it. Braden Tallis picks him up.
Tackle too high, Dipper. Thank you. Spriggs in towards half forward. A big line of players. Harford was amongst the line, but he couldn't get amongst the action. Now a chance for Clark. He's got some dash. Clear from 55 metres. A high ball into the pocket. Can Mensch do something from behind? Gets a touch. And they add a behind.
Sorry, Sandy, I was near the Hawthorn bench, just checking up on Paul Salmon. Looks like he's got a bit of sore ribs there, so keep an eye on him, but he will come back on the ground.
Thanks, Dipper.
And Geelong have just wasted their last couple of attacks into the forward line. As we have a look at the way the big fish was injured, well, I'm not sure that caused it, but he was just dropping back, zoning into defence, and Geelong have just failed to pick a man short and have kicked it to a number of Hawthorn players the last two attacks.
Rawlings to Thompson, to Crode or Tallis.
Oh.
That's 50.
Wasn't much in it, but it had to be paid.
Yeah. No real malice intended by Mensch, but it was, had it not been paid, they'd never be paid. So Tallis gets into the forward half here.
Yeah, pretty careless.
He could have pulled himself up, couldn't he?
Oh, he's got Barker on off it. No, he's run into a dead end.
Short to Thompson. He's getting a bit of it on the ball. Goes to the pocket, wants Barker and gets him. He beat Bluey one out.
That's a well-weighted kick there, Bruce. I mean, Barker was in the right position as the ball goes just right in his hands there.
He has been their best go-to forward all night, Barker, hasn't he, the Hawks?
Over the last 2 weeks, I think he just about has. He kicked himself out of it last week, but it's a good matchup for him.
There's a blood rule down here, boys.
The
Bizzle coming off for the Cats. He's got blood on his jumper.
Thanks, Dipper. Well, Barker, can he do the left to right here and put Hawthorn back in front?
Yeah, I tend to think his skills are a little bit better early in the match when he's a bit fresher. So it'll test it. It'll be a very testing kick for him. I think Bizzle coming off the deck for a... He'd only be off for about 60 seconds, I
Jared,
reckon.
Dermot, would you move McGrath off Barker?
If you could afford the luxury, yeah, but there's some dead ends there.
So Barker from the pocket. You've got a good view, Dipper. You're right behind it with Hutto down there.
Yes, we reckon he's going to get it left to right here.
And so have you at home, as we do here. Let's see. Does he put them in front? It's a good kick, G. He is a clever footballer. There is no substitute for skill, and that was a really good kick from the pocket.
There's no doubt drop punts, the slower they spin, the more they go left to right, and he certainly has that. Very important centre bounce coming up for the Geelong team here.
One of the most improved players in the competition, Johnny Barker. He's been a real find for the Hawks, and I think he's really starting to believe that he is capable of dominating at this level.
Scarlett now picking up Barker. And McGrath now on Barlow.
I wouldn't put the cat out for another 40 minutes. I think we're going to be in for a big finish here at Colonial in this first final. For the loser, the season ends. This is Piccioni, almost threw it out the back. King charges at it and he continues to charge. Wojcinski's there and he's given it away to Thompson. Thompson can kick a goal from 35. He goes across the face into behind.
Change the chemistry a bit with Thompson in the middle. He's got the run that the Fish lacks. He may not have the magnificent rucking skills around the boundary, etc. But if he can get the ball through the middle of the ground, he really does make some yards.
Clark off, Snell on.
That sigh of relief you can hear comes from Wojcinski. Snell back on. Thank you, Dipper, and he's going to go short to him right now. On the half back line, he looks towards Milburn or McGrath, both in the vicinity. McGrath back to the running Snell. Now, oh, look out, Milburn. In trouble, Tallis closing quickly. Milburn back to Snell. Back to McGrath. They've gone nowhere with 6 possessions. Milburn maybe over the top to Spriggs. Now he can open the door. Spriggs is away. Spriggs
free kick down the
forward, and back it's going to come because Milburn.
After the play, Woods just gave him a little clip, and then Milburn responded, and as always, the retaliator. Not sure, is it illegal?
Yeah, well, he's not playing the ball.
Does it constitute a shepherd?
Woods to McCabe. Think about it, boys, as McCabe goes in towards half forward, chopped off by Kilpatrick.
Yeah, you've got to be playing the ball as it's written now. You wrote the rule, Jared. You're on the committee, aren't you?
No, Kevin Bartlett runs that committee.
Oh, wonderful mark by Crawford. Sensational mark.
Shit.
He hung forever.
That could be mark of the year.
That is absolutely brilliant.
That's a great shot from that angle.
And then thumps it to the goals. And there's a chance! Marked right on the line by Dixon. What a big, big play this is.
Well, the stats tell us Geelong, when trailing at three-quarter time, out of 9 previous times have only won 2, and the Hawks, when they've been leading at three-quarter time, 12 times they've won 11.
Darren Milburn would want him to miss this. Dixon from the pocket. We're right behind him. And he kicks the goal. Talk about a turning point in the match.
That could be it. That could be it.
And Milburn pays just about the ultimate price in the eyes of the coach.
Pachoni having a few words. McGrath and Wojcinski all there. Geelong needn't worry about that at the moment. There are more urgent matters on the agenda. Milburn pays the price, but the mark is worth another look, isn't it? Shane Crawford at his brilliant Brownlow best.
Have a look at the centre bounce. No one's on each other here.
The Hawks have suddenly lifted. What a seesawing struggle we've got. Down towards Barker and co. Pachoni's lurking and he's pumped. Barlow is there as well. It's right on the 50. McGrath locks it up with a number of teammates, and there will be a bounce.
I just tend to think, Jared, that going head-to-head, King and Thompson.
McGrath coming off, boys.
King is always going to beat him, but the fact that he's fatigued him for half a game against Salmon, he's starting to jump over him a bit now.
Well, he's done particularly well the last 2 centre bounces.
He drops back on Thompson. McGrath's not off yet, Dipper. He started, didn't he? And he's gone back again into the fray. Crawford, man of the moment. Hawthorn trying to set up something for three-quarter time that would see them go further forward. Riccardi ripped to the ground. Snell also, but there's been a whistle. Will come back to the left footer.
Curators have got a bit to answer for, Sandy. This ground is too slippery.
Well, there are 3 trucks outside ready to move in first thing in the morning.
Well, there's a roof here, and there's no way known players should slip over like that.
In front of a crowd of 44,709 that has just gone up on the board. What can the Cats do down into the forward line?
McGrath off,
Thompson
Bizzle on the
chops it
ground. Looks like Bizzle might be playing back now on Barker.
Thanks, Tip. Thompson having a pretty good third quarter. The Hawks would love to get one more before three-quarter time, and vice versa. It's going to come back, I think, for Tallis. It has, as Sandy said a few minutes ago, what a seesawing game this is. If you joined it for minutes, you say, gee, they're on top, and then suddenly the other team. Holland presenting, front spot, got it. Couple of kicks away.
Barker's will probably be the next target down the line now, you'd imagine.
Goes really, really short. Got him. Barlow. Now, Chick short. Barker goes now. Barlow not going there, I don't think. He's going to go to the pocket with a bit of a hook, and he wants Dixon. That's courage, though. Good courage.
It's just about 50, that.
It is.
Bruce, Hawthorn have dominated the last 5 or 6 minutes, and you look up at the scoreboard and you've got to just check that they're actually only 8 points up. A couple of goals the other way in a hurry, and the Cats go in at 3/4 time in front.
Dixon's given 2 50-metre penalties away. Short, or one was a turnaround, wasn't it, on the other side?
I reckon it'll be a 15-goal winning margin tonight, the way the game's being played.
King, cut off. Woods, being very, very good. Thompson's athleticism. No, he decides not to take King on. He pops it up, a one-on-one. Dixon fancies himself and really fancies it this situation. Off the ground. Can Scarlett get back? He does.
Well,
so a wasted chance. I reckon Dixon was really counting the 6 points there, and Houlihan's got it at half-back.
Adam Houlihan, no one downfield. He's got to have to go for the line.
He's tripped him up. Oh,
And now he's lost it. There was no one there to help him. He tried to get it to the line. In doing so, he's tripped him up, and it could prove costly. Holland is a target. Chick is the flyer. Steinford in trouble. Comes away. Scholl from the half-back line. Looks down towards Snell territory on centre wing. Seconds ticking away now for the Cats. They're going to go in trailing at 3/4 time. Mensch. Kilpatrick again, back to Snell. Snell looks in towards the left forward pocket, too late for Barry Stoneham.
Gee, Sandy, when I said a 15-goal margin, you thought, gee, they're going to kick a few. I mean, 15 goals will win it, sir.
I think you're right, 9 playing 11 at the moment. It's not easy kicking goals here tonight. But it's interesting you say that, because Hawthorn's average game score for the season is 100. Geelong's is just 102. And if that pattern continues, we're going to be in for a cliffhanger.
No doubt about that. Just a 10-point turnaround, but an important 10-point turnaround. Hawks led by 4 at quarter time, trailed by a couple of points at half time, and at 3/4 time have an 8-point margin. Let's see how he goes. 30 minutes of footy left for one of them. The Hawks are in the driving seat here, but by no way home. They lead by 8 points in what's been a thriller all night. And the first goal will be pretty important. Hocking, well done, straightens it up, gets the centre half forward. Mensch. It's a good mark.
Well, there's a lot of work going on there, body on body, before the ball even got in there. And that's how David Mensch accepted it.
What about the performance of Gary Hocking there? He's had his moments in this match, Butter, and this is one of them. Just brought the ball back inside where the Talls were waiting. They got down there. It was a one-on-one situation. The ruckman couldn't get down there. Sets this up for a pretty gettable shot at goal.
Going for his second. He's careful with it. He's got it. It's one of those nights that key forwards probably don't have to get a whole lot of it, but if they can get 3 or 4 goals at the end of it, they're going to have a major contribution.
Well, there's not much traffic around the midfield. Both teams have basically pulled away, well, at least one of their sets of wingers, and that means there's a fair bit of room. See, Buddha's able to find a bit of space out wide after he balks one. There's no winger coming in at him, so the ball's going to get into the forward line fairly quickly, and if the key forwards can get the one-on-one grab like that, they're damaging.
McGrath gaining some attention. 2 second-half goals to Mensch. Geelong beginning the final quarter with the momentum.
So with no Paul Salmon, I mean, at the moment, Ben Graham's got a lot of spring, and Thompson just found that the height a bit of a problem at the moment.
I think we should just pay credit to Peter Riccardi also at that last centre bounce, getting the ball to Gary Hocking, set up the goal.
Smash towards Steinfort and co. Hocking again tries to break it free. Riccardi with strength took them on. Hocking goes again. He continues to go, doesn't he? Off to Scholl. Back in towards Snell. Snell from the half-back line. Redirecting towards the centre of the ground. Chapman was a target. Lekkas gets claimed. Tries to get it to Thompson. Thompson's away. So too is Hawthorn. Up towards the half-forward line. Drawn underneath the ball, a chance for Harley to clear. Comes wide towards centre wing. It skids towards the line. Comes to a grinding halt. Picked up by Bowyer. Was taken high, but he remained cool and he remained calm. And he finds Holland down on left half forward. Dixon makes the space. Holland goes back and he could go for distance. He does with a floating punt in towards full forward. No mark. Who's going to be first to recover? It's Wojcinski who decides to find the line.
Option there from the kid. He's got some pace, that boy.
Gee, the fish would be on the edge of his seat, wouldn't he?
Just be saying, give me another chance.
Just keep it going. And Stoneham, we believe, with that calf problem.
Change of key defenders down there, Dermot, with Crode going back onto Stoneham.
Jonathan Hay coming out to Mensch, who's done all right after half-time.
Sanderson very short to Bizzle. Kicked a couple of first-half goals. And then finds Steinfort.
And I just think that the move will be made because Crode will just exploit Barry Stoneham. If he can get the football, he'll be off and running the ball through the midfield.
Clark at half-back. Centre wing, Mensch and Hay at the back. Just couldn't quite get it, Chapman. Back to Leckis, to Bowyer. Now he's got a few players here to choose from. Thompson quickly on. To Harford. To Barlow.
Mark Graham.
Barlow's going to find him too. It's a good kick, Graham. He kicked the first goal for the Hawks tonight. They've left the goal square vacant. He's just going to pop it to Dixon, and he can kick a goal.
Now look, Ben Dixon's been pretty quiet all night, and the thing about Brenton Sanderson is he does have a starting point. Point 0 for him is behind his man. See, there you go. He just puts a hand on the back, and if you've got 2 or 3 quick dig-in steps off the mark, you get on the lead, and if it's out in front, you'll end up marking it.
They're all important, these shots in the last quarter, aren't they? Those 70-30s, thumping it.
Drift.
So, misses. Menches was an easier one at the other side. Now, Riccardi's off, I think, and Houlihan coming on for the Cats.
I think, according to Hutto down on the boundary line, Riccardi was spoken to at three-quarter time. So he's having a spell. As Sanderson brings it back into play. 4 points the margin. Scholl in the back pocket, and Peter again on the phone. A word from the coach. Wide to the outer side. Chapman, Tallis. Chapman in front, pushing away from Tallis, who's still on his hammer. This is good footy. Persistence. Mensch comes in over the top. Could have given away the free kick. That wasn't so good.
You surprised, Dermot, that David Spriggs is on the bench?
Yeah, look, he was very much a damaging player, wasn't he, for the Cats? He just gave them zip around the middle of the ground.
Probably just leave him there for another 10 and then bring him on for the final 20-minute onslaught.
4 points the margin, 16 minutes remaining. Kick towards Barker is too wide.
Gee, you'd want him to be in the hunt before they bring that kid on, Spriggs.
There's the young man you're talking about.
I thought he was about to take his tracksuit off then and jump out of his seat.
Glenn Kilpatrick's also spent a lot of time on the bench. Pretty handy round goals.
That's why Geelong fans have strong hearts, because their football team has given them plenty of excitement in recent times. Here's Barry Stoneham on centre wing. Is this the last hurrah for the big number 26? Snell gets clear for the Cats, puts them up towards the 50. Chapman will wait from behind. Thompson is in front, and he takes a steadying mark. They're out of trouble again.
Sort of big second half possession-wise.
He's got the corridor open.
Gets his man in Woods. Little one, she doesn't quite get to Crode. And Crode's handball puts Harford under the gun. The back turn has to give a little handball to Crode. Stops some props and then gets some momentum up and bangs it to Mark Graham. Stoneham's contest was good. Scholl roving at the bottom, and it might beat them out. No, still in play. Scholl runs it over to fight another day. 69-73. Mistakes are going to be so important, are they, from both teams? The turnovers in this last quarter, if they do come. There'll be some nervous moments. Rock.
Jade Rawlings is really setting it to Stephen King. Stephen King's in a back pocket at the moment.
Chick tried to get it out and then toe pokes forward, 2 centre half forward. Scarlett head over the ball, then tries to get some distance, and the Cats are on. Scholl, they'll try and run to him. Crawford now comes at him. Scholl, good kick, inboard, effective to Snell. Clark, this is the best part of his game normally, his running game, gets close to the man, chips to fall forward. Could Stoneham take one? He can't quite. Thompson forced to give away in a hurry. Leckis gets back, okay. Crode loads it up, and the Hawks are on.
Look at the numbers on the outer side, a sea of brown and gold. They've won 3 of 4 here at Colonial. They like it.
Rawlings is looking real dangerous down here.
Holland likes it in the centre. The Hawks go forward, inside 50, towards Crawford. He was interfered with.
Oh, he milked that. That is very fortunate to Shane Crawford. We get a look at this. He puts out the hand and stops Wojcinski getting close to him. Watch this. Hand comes out here, and Wojcinski, bit of panic here. He's just held the wrist fractionally. Oh, that's a shame.
15-metre penalty, I think, here.
There it is.
The kid did very little wrong there. Now, I'm a big rat for this kid, Reginski. He's got pace and he has a go. He did very little wrong there.
Going for his second goal.
Well, changes too by Geelong. Stoneham off the ground. Looks like he's struggling. Riccardi back on. Spriggs is on the ground and Chapman off.
Well, that's their step-up gear.
Well, he must have got the 50 for verballing the umpire.
Yeah.
Crawford, point-blank range, will kick the goal. Hawthorn opened the gap.
And Shane Crawford points to his head there and just says, think about it, son, think about it. He's trying to get into the boy's head. Just watch his left wrist being held, and that's what the free's for. Pretty lucky there. Soft, but the umpire reckons that's enough. Made sure he milked it as well.
So a couple of goals in the second half to Crawford.
Shabby return, although that's consistent. The umpire paid one against Hawthorn earlier, against Daniel Chick for a similar return, 50-metre wise.
Plenty of time remaining, but Cats sort of have got to stay at least this close, you think, don't you? Another goal here could be quite damaging. Half a little give. Woods run down by Spriggs. Immediate impact, Gerard. You're looking for him to come on the ground. Toe poke forward by Hocking. Harford doesn't run out of ideas. To Bowie, that's a good setup. Woods has been so important. Goes down the line, wants Crawford. He worked Wojcinski under. Wojcinski's athleticism for a 19-year-old came to the fore, able to get an arm on it and build it out.
Now that's where the kid should get back into Crawford's face and say, like that one this time. Never let a senior player put it over you mentally.
70 metres from Hawthorn's goal. Barker and Graham. Thought Graham led the side really well for the first three quarters. He now has to impose himself as the captain for Geelong.
And it's the forward line that's the real concern for the Cats. Hawthorn have dropped 3 extras down there, and their midfielders are still dropping the ball in long. As we see Barry Stoneham, he's in trouble. He's probably finished for the evening
and possibly for the season. Hawthorn continues to lead. Hocking at the back will find the line. Look at the skippers. Shane Crawford, 16 possessions. Graham, 15. Barry Stoneham.
Sorry, mate. Bizzle going back to full forward down here on Jonathan Hay. And Rawlings is taking Stephen King up to the forward line.
Yeah, King's actually useless at the moment, Dipper. He's just running around, being taken right out of the play. They'd be better with another small there. Maybe Chapman back on the ground or Kilpatrick. Somebody who can kick a goal and cover the lines in the distance quickly.
Sorry, Gerard. It's a Hawthorn free kick, by the way.
Yeah, a hold on the soccer off the ground there, holding the man on Shane Crawford.
Crawford has it between centre wing and right half forward.
There's a big danger here. If the Cats turn it over, they can go the whole length of the field.
Well, they've got the numbers in defence. Nothing up over the centre of the ground at the moment. Graham pokes it wide to Raiden Tallis. Tallis from 47 metres. A high floating punt kick. Where are my teammates, he says, as Milburn comes crashing over the top and smashes defensively to the line.
Chris Barlow asked the question of the umpire, but I don't think it was a very hard and intent effort upon the mark.
Time not a factor at the moment. 12 and a half minutes left.
It's a big pack.
King, Barker, Holland, Woods. A high ball from Woods in towards full forward. Sanderson couldn't get a go at it. Scarlett belted down towards King. The Cats defend. Riccardi goes wide to Spriggs, and he's got it on the outer side.
Graham pushing forward now.
They need a few extras to go forward.
He hasn't got a lot on offer, has he? Chips wide and finds Snell. Been a fair possession winner. That's number 20. In towards the centre of the ground. Graham flying from behind. McCabe down in front for the Hawks. They can set it up here towards Lekkas. Gets a poor bounce, then got to get past King. Could have been leg. Burns steals it. Maybe Burns could do something for the Cats. Off to Minch. Rawlings is between he and the goals. Minch
Milburn
goes towards Milburn. You've got him, Dipper. But he hasn't got it. He has not got the mark. And Thompson's away. Let's just find the line, he says. And he does. Eventually.
It's had a big last quarter, Thompson. A big second half in terms of stats.
Hocking coming off too, boys. Kilpatrick coming on for Hocking.
They've got to get a goal, Dipper. There is time, but they need a goal.
Kilpatrick's a step up in pace for them around the midfield at least, although Buddha's fought his way back into it after quarter time.
Spriggs. Still Spriggs. And a ball up.
Ben Graves now pushed forward. King back on the ball there, Gerard. And Ronnie Burns now back in the forward line.
He's deep, Burns. It's the deepest they've had him near goals for the night. So they're realising now, eggs are in one basket. As you called it, Bruce, a goal must be found.
Well, no goals from Burns and none from Holland in the match to date. They're two leading goal kickers. And as Gerard said at three-quarter time, the Mercurial one probably has to kick two for them to win. And there he is.
Hawthorn, as they did last week, just dominating the mark statistic.
King, Harford away. Everything he's done tonight has had some class about it. And he should be fresh. Left foot wants Crawford, but Riccardi went for it. Barlow was looking for it over the back. Crawford was trying to either mark or get it to the back. Riccardi's kick not good. Chick front spot, King of the back. Harford's little give to Thompson. Running the game out strongly. Left foot to the pocket. Dixon working hard. Terrific takedown low. Well done, Riccardi. Out of play, I thought. Still in play, apparently. Dixon on his wrong side kicks a wonderful goal. That is fantastic.
And very, very painful to the Geelong Footy Club.
The adjudication there is the ball, every complete piece of it must go to the outside of the white line. If any of the ball is still hovering over the white line, it's still in. Let's have a look at it here. Is it completely over? No.
No, good
That's
call.
a goal.
Good call from the umpire.
It's almost the biggest margin we've had in this game, and it's Hawthorn that leads. 85-69.
Ben Graham to full forward. Somebody's got to find some goals for the Cats. They've got to get it there first, though.
Milburn gets it on its way with a long bomb towards Mensch. He can't hold the mark. Tap clear. Back towards Bizzle, who's lurking. It's locked up at half forward in the Geelong zone.
When the bounce down occurs deep in the forward line, the more numbers around it suits the defenders, so Geelong would be wise to pull players away. Milburn backs out the back door. If it spews out to him, he's a chance.
Clark bumps and doesn't spoil. Spriggs tries to get it away towards Snell. He loses it. Geelong loses it. Leckis down towards the forward line. Crawford is clear. 55 out. A little too far. Scholl should tidy up for the Cats. Needs two attempts. Sanderson goes inboard towards Riccardi. Riccardi's errant hand pass could prove costly. Smith eventually gets it clear. It comes back to Harford from Dixon. Harford looks inboard, in towards half forward, and Bowyer takes the mark. The winner to play the loser of the Essendon Kangaroos clash, and the loser tonight. The season ends. Bowyer called to go now. Close to the man on the mark.
That's a waste.
Straight down the middle, and there's a bit of a shove. The free kick scheme given to King. The mark was taken anyway by Kilpatrick. They had the numbers.
Holland did all the hard work there. He led 3 times and he should have been rewarded finally.
Scarlett wide to Harley. We've got to get some momentum here, the Cats. Milburn's kick to centre wing. There's a free kick to Bizzle. No, yes it is. It'll come to Bizzle. Let's see if they can score from this forward thrust. Scholl's very wide. Bizzle probably can't get to him from there now. Graham leads. Bizzle goes to centre half forward, and they've found Houlihan. Goal kicking forward. Kick one in the opening term. Right now he's equal with Ronnie Burns as the leading goal kicker at the club with 38. Boy, do they need him to go to the front here. Just about the big kick for him this year, you'd reckon. This to give the Cats a real chance. Miss it and they are going to be in all sorts of trouble. 49 metres out, floating away, never looked a chance.
They have had a history though, Bruce, all season of giving away a 2 or 2.5 goal lead and still prevailing, so they can't be written off yet. Just under 8 minutes of play remaining, still plenty of time.
No doubt about that. McCabe got it really short.
Oh, that's biting.
What would you do with Hawthorn, Jerry? I mean, he's on the bench. He's most experienced player for Geelong. Put him on for the last 10.
Well, I'm not sure, Dibber. He looked as if he'd run out of steam. But maybe just in the goal square or thereabouts, he can kick a goal.
Hawthorn defence setting it up to come away again. This is Lekis.
Tallis runs hard.
And Chick's on centre wing. Milburn tried to cut across and thump it to the line.
I think the one that would interest me more would be Bluey McGrath into the ruck.
They're on 10-10 tonight. You have a look at their last 3 finals. I know they don't all link up, but they have really struggled to kick goals since that 95 grand final.
Stephen King is getting his hand on the ball occasionally, but just giving no run, and Holland is chopping him up there.
Here's Clark looking towards the 50 once again. Houlihan could have copped a nudge. Kilpatrick plays on with a ball that almost touches the roof, and an equally as good mark is taken by Rawlings. Had to stand and wait for the galloping hordes.
You can just tell right about now that the Hawks are thinking about whether they play a possession game, and it's just a fraction early.
Well done, Kilpatrick.
Kilpatrick clashes with Woods. That was well done. And Riccardi could finish it off. 50 metres from home. He seals it, and the Cats stay alive. Woods is leaving the ground, and suddenly the Cats have found something.
Just looking to edge the ball forward there by a short pass. Woodsy's come from the deck, as you call.
Kilpatrick was good.
He was fantastic.
They can close in now, the Cats. They can actually close in on those short targets when Hawthorn are coming forward out of their back line. So they've got that in their favour. They know what the basic ploy is.
Woods sitting out, 29 possessions. If Crawford's mark was the highlight of the night, Kilpatrick's effort there was right there with it. Now the Cats are a big chance. Suddenly the clock's out of favour. It doesn't matter. You've got 6.5 minutes to get to. There's plenty of time. That was the goal they had to get. They had to get the next one. So they're 11-10 to 13-7. They're a real sniff. Kilpatrick's kicked a half forward. Mentioned the front spot. Rawlings has been a pretty good all night, I reckon, to Snell. Kilpatrick was a tough handball. Kilpatrick tried to milk it and he got it.
He's got it.
He's got the free kick. There's a big turnaround.
Blue one in the goal square up in the Geelong area.
Graham.
Oh,
Gee, someone flattened there.
that should have been a free.
Yeah, there was a screen put on and Crode ran straight through the screen.
He also went straight through a few other things, Dermot. And the umpire had a fair look at it.
He was about 5 metres away, wasn't he? Perfectly side on. David Mensch saw Ben Graham lead out with Trent Crode following him. Watch this, and he puts the screen on and he jumps up, slides up in there with the forearm.
Well, Mensch takes it out of the air, gets it down towards Houlihan. Houlihan kicks it back to Burns. Takes a good mark. That was a terrific attempt from McCabe to take it off him. And Ronnie Burns plays on. No, he's going to have to come back from Mark. Has to come back.
Worth a chance, worth a try.
Well, what about the pressure here? This is the man who's kicked 10 goals in the last 2 weeks, has ignited the team and its fans, came into the match with high expectations, hasn't really had a shot for goal all night, and this to bring the Cats within a kick.
You'd almost want him, Cats supporters almost want him to trip over, have to play on and kick one from somewhere. But set shot, he's an instinctive player.
He wouldn't take McCabe on, would he? 48 metres out.
That's
Not bad, it's not bad. It's very, very good. Well, Bomber looked icy cool. The blood would be flowing very quickly right now.
But they have had, Bruce, all year a series of results where they've got themselves to a losing position, it seems, in the final quarter, and then come back with just a couple of goals. We saw it last week with the Sydney Swans. They looked to have the game in their grasp, but the Cats just kicked 2 or 3 and then got the last 4 or 5, and well, they pinched a remarkable victory to snaffle their spot in the finals.
7 men in the Cats forward line at the moment, 5 in Hawthorn. So they put the extra down there, and Bomber Thompson has manned it up.
Still over 5 minutes remaining. King up against Thompson. Harford in there as well. Runs into trouble. Runs into deep trouble.
Tell you what, the umpire, as he ran in to blow his whistle then, he also got the slips out there.
Spriggs at the bottom. Young man started the night on the bench.
It's been a good step up for him, hasn't he? For the Cats, he's been able to add a little bit of pace around the middle. He's got Barry Young, and he's going to outpace him to the next loose ball.
King wins it. Chick takes it away off the side of the boot. Gets it back towards half forward. An even struggle, both holding on, so play on is the call. Joel Smith just pushing it further afield to accommodate Crawford. Spoon back to Smith, now Bowyer. Does well. Oh, Clark did very well too. Crawford, beautiful hands off to Smith. Can come back inboard in that laconic style that he possesses. Kicks into half forward. No clean mark taken. Steinfort tried to soccer off the ground. Barry Young goes wide. Rock may get a chance. King is there with him. Rock, short little chip, it's good. Johnny Barker will shoot for goal. And hopefully for Hawks fans, steady the ship.
Gee, it wasn't pretty, Sandy, but two very experienced players there, Barry Young and Anthony Rock, made something work in the end.
And Rocky's coming off now. He just realised it didn't have to be pretty.
And they're telling Rock to stay back on the ground, but what a cool head by young Bowyer. He's been fantastic tonight.
And Johnny Barker wants this goal. He wants this win because his next game is going to be his 100th. And this could go a long way towards sealing it. From 43 metres. Barker has kicked the goal. Hawthorn has steadied.
What a kick, what a goal. And, well, Anthony Rock, he has resurrected his career. He's been a terrific player for the Hawks. And he's held his spot when, at the end of last year and perhaps the year before, it looked as if his career was just about gone. He's been such a inspirational player, an important player for them in the midfield this season.
Just went the 10 metres. In fact,
I reckon the slide rule had to get out to clarify that 10 metres.
I reckon it was in Rocky metres.
Gee, on a night where some players have missed goals, Barker has been deadly, hasn't he? 4 out of 4.
That's a good return.
So the Cats obviously need the next goal. There is time for them to win, no doubt, but they do need to get the next one. You would reckon if Hawthorn can get to the 15 goals you mentioned, Dermot, a half an hour ago, they'll win the match. If the Hawks get one more, you're going to be enough, wouldn't you?
They're one away from it, I would say. But look, the Cats have been fantastic tonight. There's been several periods during the match that we thought they'd been killed off, and they just keep coming back.
Chick almost went to go off the ground and then held it back. McCarty working hard. It'll be a ball up.
It's been interesting, Bruce. I can't remember one free kick being paid against a player for diving on the ball and holding it in tonight.
Cats have been in the 8 for 22 weeks this year. The only other team that's managed that is the Bombers. Hawks have been there for 5. It counts for not a thing right now, does it? They've been so... Right. Burns brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Left foot. Just misses. Well, you said he had to kick 2. I was sitting alongside you, Jared, a few years ago when you produced one of the all-time classics about next goal wins in Adelaide. Ronnie's second goal, had he got it there, would have really counted a lot. But he just missed. It's 12-11 to 14-7.
The Hawks here, have a look at this kick in here. There's nobody in the corridor, only one player, and that's Shane Crawford. So they're feeling the heat here. They're going to go wide and short.
8 points is the margin. Crode is in the back pocket.
Is that 10 metres?
Well, it's 7 from post to post, and he was just fractionally inside and just fractionally outside of the point post.
Couple of minutes left.
If you're kicking towards King here.
Holland is in there as well. Tallis was at the back. He applies the tackle. Bowyer. And trying desperately to get clear Kilpatrick.
Clark coming off, Sandy. And Hocking back on.
Good move, get the Buddha on. He's capable of driving it from this loose ball situation and producing either a handball to set up a goal or kick it himself.
Thompson looking for some experience in the last couple of minutes.
Nick Holland's pushed down to the back of this pack.
Geelong must score here. Burns is lurking. Eagers taken to ground. Chick was in the way. Oh, she's hard and tough now. Harford steadies it down with a mark as it was socked to him. Daniel Harford breaks to the outer side. He's got the runners there. And his captain is one of them. Here they go now, up towards half forward. Daniel Chick is clear, goes up towards the flank. and they will steady it down. Holland says there's no hurry now. With a minute and a half remaining. Dixon marks just outside 50.
Sanderson relinquishes the front spot again, and Dixon knows it. He's worked pretty hard there, Nick Holland, to go from the back pocket of that boundary throw in, Sandy, to be on the end of that kick forward.
Eight points the margin. Hawthorn leading. Barry Stoner. Has he got 50 seconds of his career left? In towards full forward. King must spoil, and does. But time, all of a sudden now, is the enemy of Hawthorn.
Geelong.
Geelong, of course. 83 plays 92. Hawthorn will play on in this finals campaign. Geelong's will end.
Centre wing the kick, Rawlings, Houlihan. Whatever they do, it's got to be swift from the Cats' point of view. Minch round the body. Can Buddha do something extraordinary here? It was a good take by Hocking. Left-hand handball okay. Snell, still with Snell. Back to Hocking down low. The handball to Kilpatrick. Terrific smother off the boot. Coming from Barry Young. Buddha battling it out to the end. Snell punching forward. Spriggs caught up. Can't get it. Little left forward kick. And Bowyer, who Dipper said so rightly has been so good. And Peter Swab, they know they're home. And they are. Nine years since they won a final of any sort. They're into the last six. Are they coming again?